And we start tonight with breaking news. The future of Roe v. Wade is uncertain.
I say choose! You say women! Choose! Women! Choose! Women!
Groups for and against Roe v. Wade gathering outside the Supreme Court tonight in Washington, D.C.
It all comes after a draft opinion from the Supreme Court was leaked, saying Roe v. Wade, that legalized abortion nationwide, will be overturned.
This is a live look right now at the Supreme Court. You can see barriers are up around the court and people are still sitting down outside live, protesting this possible decision tonight. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Madison Wade.
And I'm Chris Thomas. Keep in mind, the draft opinion was leaked to Politico in a major exclusive just hours ago. Take a look. This is the headline. Politico is reporting Justice Alito wrote an initial majority draft saying we hold that Roe and Casey must be overruled. The Constitution makes no reference to abortion, and no such right is implicitly protected by any constitutional provision.
The justice also reportedly wrote Roe was egregiously wrong from its start. The reasoning was exceptionally weak, and the decision has had damaging consequences.
And breaking news tonight, just in from Governor Gavin Newsom's office, state lawmakers are now working to propose an amendment to, quote, enshrine the right to choose in the California Constitution. This group of Democratic lawmakers saying in part, we know we cannot, quote, trust the Supreme Court to protect reproductive rights.
And just hours ago, the governor tweeted saying our daughters, sisters, mothers, and grandmothers will not be silenced. The world is about to hear their fury. California will not sit back. We are going to fight like hell.
ABC 10's Van Tu live in the newsroom tonight with more on this breaking news.
Well, this unprecedented leak of this draft opinion isn't the final word, but drawing strong reaction, of course, on both sides of the debate. Now, if the February opinion as written becomes the law of the land, an estimated 26 states are certain or likely to outlaw abortion immediately. But here in California, the state has long positioned itself as a haven for safe abortions. News that federal protections for abortions could be overturned by the Supreme Court brought joy to Lucia Carrillo of Modesto.
I'm praying and believing it will change because it will be a better world.
The mother of three says when she was 16, an adult man pressured her to get a legal abortion without the consent of her parents. She said that experience traumatized her, and as a child, she didn't know she could keep her baby. Now, staunchly against abortions.
I'm against it. It's murder.
If Roe v. Wade is overturned, individual states would decide whether abortion will be legal within their boundaries. But Elder Lena Coe, an associate professor of law at the University of the Pacific, says one thing is certain.
What we know from history, what we know from other countries, is that women will go to great lengths not to be pregnant if they don't want to be, regardless of whether or not abortion is legal or not.
According to the Guttmacher Institute, a sexual and reproductive health rights advocacy group, 26 states are likely to quickly outlaw abortion, impacting 36 million people who may need to cross state lines for abortion care or resort to dangerous methods.
Here in California, we have by far the most easy access to abortion in the entire country. You can get it as a minor. You don't have to have parental consent.
California has positioned itself at the forefront of abortion access, and the legislature currently considering bills that will expand abortion care. Now, experts say to expect a mass political mobilization on both sides of the debate. And if Roe v. Wade is overturned, experts expect an influx of abortion patients in California. Now, the California Future of Abortion Council says the number of out-of-state patients whose nearest clinic would be in California could increase nearly 3,000%. And that's only counting those who would be traveling by car. Chris?
That is some perspective for us tonight, Van. Thank you. Again, it is important to note this was a leaked draft. Nothing is final just yet.
But if Roe v. Wade is overturned, quote, the impacts will be immediate and they will be scary. Those are the words tonight from a California State Assemblywoman following this breaking news tonight. Buffy Wicks represents the East Bay area as a state Assemblywoman. She shared her public experience with abortion following the Supreme Court arguments on abortion back in December. Wicks tweeted she had a miscarriage in September that required an emergency abortion procedure. She said she was bleeding heavily and had no idea why. Turns out she was pregnant and her pregnancy was not viable. Wicks said I needed to undergo this procedure as a matter of health care. It wasn't a difficult call because there was no call to be made.
If I were in Texas and I didn't have the resources to get on an airplane and come to a place like California, would I have just sat and suffered in pain with excessive bleeding in the hopes that everything would be okay? And that's the decision that I think many women are going to be confronted with if Roe v. Wade is overturned. And it's just perplexing to me and frankly infuriating to me that we have a Republican Party here that's willing to do this to half the population in this nation.
Wicks ended our conversation by saying elections matter and voting matters. She said if you don't like what you're seeing happen in terms of Roe v. Wade being possibly overturned, then make sure your voice is heard in the upcoming election cycle.
Now, again, this was a leaked draft. It is unclear if this draft represents the final word on the matter. But regardless, what happened tonight could change the legal community moving forward. That is according to local attorney Mark Reichel, who has argued before the Supreme Court.
This is the biggest breach in the security of the Supreme Court that I've seen, and I've been following it since the early 80s. The fact this draft is out and the way it's written is a legal earthquake, not the kind that shakes us here for 13 seconds. You know, this is one that will shake us for years in the legal community, and as far as our rights in America as well.
Now, we are continuing to follow this breaking news. Stay with us tonight for updates.